Right, that's it. It's official. British summer has ended. Raincoat on. Mudguard's got to go back on the bike. Blimey, everyone's in a hurry. How are we doing? 6:40 in the morning. Not supposed to rain until about 8 o'clock-ish. There has been a bit of drizzle already. Didn't last long, didn't really get wet to be honest. High temperatures today, about 14. Very windy. Or maybe these days I'm just a bit more sensitive to the wind, I don't know. Yeah, those trees are swinging around a bit. Yeah, I'm a little bit later than usual, but I'll go into that in a minute. That's all right. There's a gap, but the light's changed now anyway, so I'm not holding anybody up. Maybe I should have paid a bit more attention and seen there was a gap coming. Anyway, here we go. Out on the gravel bike. I tell you what, let's go this way today. Good morning. A wheeler is at large. Just out for a little gravel spin today. Nothing too big or heroic. Might do a few miles though, but hopefully comfortable speed. Let's say that. quite blustery. Yeah, so we've had a few days of rain now, so I'm not quite sure what the trails are going to be like. I might, depending on conditions, make it as far out as the New Forest today, but that's nearly always very rideable. You know, a bit of grit and wet and splash up, but I don't think it'll be too bad from a riding point of view. But first we head to the beach. Oh dear, there's a BMW there, but they're always very cautious and care about cyclists, obviously, so we won't worry about that. Oh, hello. Bell doesn't work if you put your hand on it. Ah, 2x, what a wonderful thing. It does create an issue for me though with this particular bike. Hello. Yeah, he's good, he's seen me. This is nice. Yeah. New surface. I feel a bit full. I might have got a little bit carried away with breakfast this morning. Yeah, I felt that coming up that hill. Okay, what we got? Looks good. Oh, we made that a solid line now. Stop people swapping lanes at the last minute because they suddenly realised they can't go straight on from that lane anymore. I think I'm going to have to take this raincoat off now. Yeah. Let's just say this is warm. Wouldn't go as far as to say boiling the bag. Definitely warm. There we go. I'll get off the main road and stop, because obviously gilet and chest mount camera, not gilet, rain jacket, yeah, they don't really mix, so I am going to have to stop properly and make a wardrobe adjustment. Out on the ever faithful Giant Revolt 12-speed mechanical GRX 2x, obviously already mentioned in the ride. I do like the 2x. I mean, the way things are going, 2x is going to be a thing of the past in gravel, yeah, soon, but for the moment I'll keep going. It's actually looking clean right now. It's not going to stay that way, obviously. Yeah, the shifting is actually very reliable and very smooth. I have no reason to change it. Just that little, those minor little inconveniences, I suppose, like the rough ground. Having to physically push it means that actually you're not really holding on to the hood very well. So on rough ground it can make you, oh bloody hell, you know. But this is a minor thing. How often does that happen? Probably once every 5 or 6 rides, and very much depending on the route and terrain. As you would expect, being Shimano, the brakes are absolutely spot on. I do like the way Shimano brakes work. I'm not going to talk about Julie's liver veil, okay? Yeah, that was the gland inside the shifter apparently, or the diaphragm, or whatever it is they have in there. I'm not quite sure what happened there. First failure I've had with Shimano shifters in however long it's been since we've been using them. We've used them a lot, swapping bits and pieces, and yeah, I guess that happens. So no longer, you know, 100% on the Shimano bits, but of course being mineral oil and easy to deal with, yeah, not such a big deal, and relatively cheap as well. Julie's new 105 shifter cost us €220, so didn't break the bank. Not quite sure what a SRAM shifter would cost. Obviously if it was Ultegra or something else it might have been a little bit more. That's just life, isn't it? Actually, I'm going to stay on the road here because I'm going to get a little bit more elevation today. Not fast elevation. I don't do fast elevation, remember that. But yeah, just a bit more elevation. Yeah, it's early enough, there's not much traffic. Now, of course, we could go down to the beach through there, but it is very definitely a footpath. Doesn't mean we can't go and have a little look at the sea though, does it? There we go. The Isle of Purbeck's old Harry there. Not a bright blue day, but not bad all the same. Van lifers. Shell Bay over there. Studland and old Harry on the end. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Yeah, if you come down to Bournemouth in the summer, people often complain about the parking, lack of, or expenses. But if you're early enough, there is plenty of, yeah, you're doing a U-turn, aren't you? But you're also blocking the road for me, so that's great. Yeah, if you're early enough, and if you commit to the day's adventure, let's say, there is actually plenty of free parking around here. A little bit of a walk down to the beach, but hey, you know. No big deal, is it? Not really. Plenty of amenities on the beach. It's not like you have to keep going back to your car for things. So it can be done. Obviously for locals, cycling is probably your best option. Buses are fine, but they get caught in the traffic as well, so not always a great idea. It's one of the things that we don't quite get right in this country, isn't it? If you're going to have a bus lane, it needs to be separate all the way to wherever it's got to go. Having little bits of bus lane here and there is worse than having little short bits of bike lane yeah, that just finish when you most need them. Yeah, if buses get caught in the same traffic as you're sitting in your car, air conditioned, privacy, with your own music going, then the bus isn't really an option, is it? You might as well sit in your own car in your own comfort. One thing that does, where the bus does win, is of course when you get to your destination you don't have to look for parking. So things like the Christchurch Food Festival, stuff like that. Yeah, Julie and I will probably ride, but the bus does definitely become an option because we can just get straight to the heart of the festival and not have to worry about it. Looking for about, I don't know, 13 and a half today, average speed. Not in any kind of hurry. A few hills, a bit of gravel. Again, nothing huge. Just a basic standard gravel ride. Of course, gravel riding in the UK very often includes tarmac. Tarmac joins up the good stuff, quite often necessary. Just one of those things. There are obviously places, other places in the country where yeah, bigger forests and off-road tracks are available, more plentiful, but down here we have some fantastic gravel trails, some fantastic riding, but you do have to do a bit of tarmac. Oh, he's going to push through, yeah, just to join it up, which is actually fine. Of course, I am very used to the roads around here, around Bournemouth and Poole, so I'm very comfortable with the amounts of tarmac I have to do, so I tend not to go through the windy back roads, the quiet cul-de-sacs and footpaths and things like that. I find the roads like this, they're wide enough. Yeah, sometimes they're busy, but you don't really get the problems on this type of road. Yeah, out in the New Forest you can get some problems. Out on the countryside roads, fortunately, of course, the New Forest, you can stay off-road far more. And in fact, getting across the forest on a bike is much simpler and efficient off-road. Okay, more energy expended, more bike cleaning, etc., etc. But there are far more routes across the forest off-road than there are on-road. Right, has he seen me? You're not going to throw it? Oh, you know, he has seen me. Nope. Tide's out, as you can see. Ferry is in the port. So I dare say that ferry won't leave until the tide comes in, because it is known to cut the chains on the Sandbanks ferry if the water level is too low. We shall see. Well, check the headlines tomorrow. Now that is some headwind actually. I think I just put my finger on the lens, didn't I? Let's do that. Oh, look at this! Train! Oh, bike up. I bet he's not doing more than 50 watts for his 20 mile an hour. $330 watts for 14 miles an hour. It's funny that car park there because it is always full of van lifers. Yet there's big signs saying no overnight sleeping. Right. A little bit of respite from the wind. Let's go around the long way, shall we? Yeah, nothing behind me. Okay, pretty quiet right now. 7:15 in the morning. Bronze statue back there of Baden-Powell. Oh, for God's sake. Bloody bee or something just went in my helmet. Oh, no, it's out. It's gone. Yeah, kids are back at school, so not half-term holiday at the minute. Means it'll be a bit quieter during the day, but of course, people still visit in the shoulder season, you know, to miss the school holidays. People of a certain age that don't want kids screaming around them and stuff like that. So there'll be some trade done today, some business done on these boats and restaurants. Alright. Well, today's supposed to be a gravel ride, isn't it? So right, I'll tell you what, let's do a bit more road and we'll do a bit of gravel that we don't do very often. It means a couple of miles of extra road, but also means a few more feet of elevation, which is never a bad thing at the minute, because I'm not specifically training for hills, but I'm pretty determined not to get into the whole interval training malarkey, you know, but I'm quite happy to do naturally occurring intervals by riding up hills on actual rides. Okay. Yeah, so I checked behind me straight away, the sirens came on, because I don't know whether I'm stopping, pulling out, or what I'm doing. As it happened, the other bike was in front of me. I was able to just pull out because I knew it was clear behind me. Perfect timing really. Any earlier than that, I'd have felt obliged to stop, I think. And if the other bike hadn't have been there, of course. That said, the ambulances would have waited at the junction, because obviously they can't just pull out and go, oh, blue lights. They do have to drive safely. It's more a case of a warning that they're there so people can give them space. It's not a get out of the way, I've got blue lights. In fact, a lot of the time it's actually quicker and more efficient to keep going. You'd be amazed how many people just brake, pull over and stop, sometimes in inappropriate places. You know, if you can't let them through safely, then keep going until you can, because they don't want to have to stop and try and wiggle through little gaps. They just want to keep moving. Yeah, a little bit of roadcraft and common sense is involved when it comes to blue lights. Yeah, just slamming the brakes on and pulling over is not always the best policy. Okay, what we got? Traffic lights. Huh. Yeah, right. All clear behind. Gets a bit narrow under the bridges, so I will just move out into the lane a little bit in case somebody comes roaring down the hill and wants to jump past me before the lights. Still clear actually, but I would suggest it's not a bad policy. Doesn't matter that it was clear, just gets me in the habit of doing it. But checking, right, no indicator, no turning of the wheel. It's always a little bit 50-50 when somebody's slow to pull away. Thank you. Are they slow to pull away because they're on their phone, not paying attention, just not really in a hurry? Yeah. But there was no sign of the arm going for the wheel or the front wheels turning. No indicator, so I made that decision. Riding a bike is, well, yeah, driving a car, using the roads. It's all about making decisions based on what you see going on. And let's be honest, for the amount of vehicles that are on the road, we're pretty good at making the right decisions, aren't we? Yeah, there are some horrific accidents. Don't get me wrong, but most of us get where we're going 100% of the time, don't we? Well, I promise you there will be some off-road in a minute. Yeah, let's do it. There's a car behind me that's a little way back. We've got a queue anyway, haven't we? Careful at a double roundabout. It does confuse people. I'm not sure why. He's indicating. Yeah, we're good. I wanted to go down there, never mind. We'll do this one. Yeah, so I actually wanted to come through here, and this is where we would have ended up. Yeah, so I went along there because, of course, coming onto the path is quite different to leaving the path. Yeah, so this is it. This is exactly it. Even I can't get lost from here. But this is sometimes what going out and riding on your own is all about, isn't it? Just building that route knowledge. I know now that actually it's between the bushes and not just follow the path. And it gets us onto the Castleman Trail. Bit of upness. Because we used to come through the road and through those bars there, but that's not fun, is it? That was much better. So next time we'll get it right first time, won't we? Bypass. Believe it or not, on a Sunday morning, let's do this properly. Believe it or not, on a Sunday morning, you'll see guys on their TT bikes riding along there. Yep. Of course, it is very true to say that a Sunday morning is very quiet along there, or much quieter. So this is a part of the Castleman Trailway that we don't ride very often, because we're usually heading towards Upton House. Today we're going to skip Upton House. So yeah, a bit more road and not really that pleasant through Hamworthy. It's okay. It's quite wide. There's a couple of things where the bridge is narrow and things like that to think about. There's some car parking curbs that jut out a bit here and there, but it's not too bad. And it just gives us the opportunity to ride this little extra bit. What is it? I don't know, about half a mile long, 3/4 of a mile maybe. Quite bumpy and rooty in places, but you know, gravel bikes, built for the task at hand. 45mm tyres on this, 23 internal rims, so they come up to about 47. In fact, if I go over, or when I had the wheel top electronic group set on this, if I inflated to anything over 40 psi, the tyre actually inflated enough to hit the front mech on it. Of course, modern thinking knows you don't need, but actually I don't need much more than about 35 in these. And that was when I was heavy. Nowadays, more like 32 in the back, 28, 30 in the front. Even that's a little bit solid, but I'm still, you know, 96, 97 kilograms. So it's still got to hold a little bit of weight off the ground. go. Will she hold the gate for me? No, she bloody won't. Look at that. Morning. I saw her the other day as well. I must have upset her that day. I mean, let's be honest. Just my very presence on a bicycle probably upsets most people. Of course, I have no evidence of that, other than what you see online, obviously. If you see it online, it must be true. Real world experience? Nah, very rarely anything. Everybody's very pleasant. We all enjoy the trails. Morning. It's easy, isn't it? What's the problem? Yeah, it's pretty wet. I did put my aero shoe covers on today, just simply because they are sort of a rubber material. I want to deflect some of the mud. They're not waterproof in the slightest, but they do keep me clean. And they do keep the shoes clean without being overly hot. And in the winter, actually, they do really well because they keep the wind out. In the winter, they don't keep the water out, but they do keep the wind out, which helps keep my feet warm, which is nice. So there you go. For all you people out there that say that aero clothing has no functional use for normal everyday cyclists, I would beg to differ on the shoe covers. Yeah, aero socks, yeah, you can keep them. Not worried about them. But these, aero shoe covers are actually bloody fantastic bit of kit. If you go on AliExpress, they're like 15, 16 quid. So yeah, do they wear out? Yes, they do. I'm on the second pair actually in a couple of years, so not too bad. You know, even the expensive ones wear out, don't they? You know, get caught on the cleats and just gradually the seams come apart. So I'm not going to say for one moment these are worse quality just because they're from AliExpress, because I have no experience to suggest that's the case. Bumpy. Yeah, this bit's just been fixed, believe it or not. Morning. And it's the bumpiest bit on the whole trail. Yeah, I happily ride my road bike up through here. The surface is not loose, a bit bumpy in places like I just said, a bit mucky when it's wet, but honestly you could pretty much ride any bike along here. YMCA. I think it used to be part of BH Live, which is like Bournemouth's sort of fitness and gym setup. But it's been taken over by the YMCA. Well, I think I can honestly say I feel a bit lighter now. I definitely went over the top on breakfast, or should I say I left too soon after having breakfast. I was hedging my bets. Yes, it hadn't rained overnight, everything was dry, and we have a good tell actually because the thank you. No, it's fine, thank you. Jeez. People. Anyway. We have a plastic deck. You know, one of these, whatever they are. Low maintenance. Da 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 da. And when it gets wet, it takes an awful long time to dry compared to like the path and everything around it. So even if it's rained at say midnight and been dry ever since, it will still be wet in the morning. You know, not puddles and that, but definitely damp, you can see. And this morning when I got up, it was dry, just with a few patches here and there, so it didn't rain overnight, or if it did, it was only drizzle, not particularly hard. So I made the decision, let's go for a ride. Made myself some oats. I didn't go all in on the rice and eggs and sweet chilli sauce. Got my bike out, thought about a route, had a coffee, used the toilet, all the usual stuff. And as soon as I finished my bowl of oats, it started drizzling. I looked at the weather app. It's supposed to possibly rain a bit later from 8 o'clock onwards. It is now 7:45. Well, I'm going to have to go out. You know, I've had breakfast now, but if I get out quickly, hopefully the rain will be a bit late coming and I'll get most of the ride done dry. And so far so good on that. However, it does mean I had a belly full of oats as I walked out the door. But like I say, feeling a bit lighter now. How far am I going to go? I don't know. Good morning. Yeah, I don't know how far I'm going to go today, so we'll see. I'll probably just, like I do on the road, I'll do that bit and then that bit and just add it on and just see where I end up. I'm guessing if I go too far, I'm definitely going to be into the wind on the way back. But hey, that's just life, isn't it? Not too worried about that. That just becomes one of those you know, naturally occurring intervals that I was talking about earlier. I'm pretty sure that actually riding your bike and getting plenty of rest in between rides is probably the best fitness training you can do. I mean, it hasn't done me too bad, has it, over the years? Even when I was 130, whatever it was, kilograms, I was still a functional member of the group ride, let's put it that way. And over the years I've had several people say to me, "You're really quite good at this, aren't you?" You know, expecting to come out and find me dead slow and always at the back. And I think when people say that, because you don't invite that sort of thing. I mean, we're blokes, aren't we? We don't really care about that sort of thing. We go out, we do our own thing, and we feel good or not about it, depending on our own performance. We know how it felt and what we expected of ourselves. But when people, yes, involuntarily come up and say, "You're really quite good at this, you're a very strong rider," yeah, that's really, yeah, gives you quite a good boost, doesn't it? Right, go a bit wider today. Yeah, and up we go. Okay, the wheel arms. There you go, there's the wet. It's just like winter all over again, isn't it? Squeaky brakes. Shall we go the quiet way? No. I'm a little bit too far in front of the queue to jump on the back there. Well, hello. I've got a gear there somewhere. I did tell you about this 2x TRX and how good it is, didn't I? Right, they'll be queuing in a moment. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. Look at this. Oh, that's a shame. I need to get on the bridge. Yeah, we're all good. You see why I needed to get on the bridge now, don't you? Hold the lane. If I'd have stayed near the curb just after the crossing there, I could have got trapped. Look at that, bus driver. What a decent chap he is. Yes, he is. Of course, you have to check these days. Yes, I think more bus did a big push for female drivers quite recently. And there's a few out there for sure. Not unusual. Oh, mate. Yeah, I know, pedestrian. he had priority, but we had an eye-to-eye understanding. We knew what was going on. That's why I signalled instead of just cutting straight in front of him. Right, a bit more hillage. Upness, ascending, climbing, call it whatever you want. Oh, touch the white line, have I just jumped the lights? Oh, bloody cyclist. Right, up we go. St John's Hill. What we got? That's what we want, that one. Old Granada Estate. Amazing that it's lasted this long. Flattens out here. Yeah, not really. You could even say I'm descending right now. Hello. Nearly there. A little bit left. Well, first time I've done that hill in the big ring for a while. Come on, stop faffing. Coal Hill. Right, thank you for looking at me. Nothing behind. Yeah, still nothing behind. Right, traffic left and right there. Not a problem. Let's go to Cannon Hill. Yeah, Cannon Hill. We can actually stay down on the road and go the flat way, but I don't know, I'd say it's good to have a few hills here and there, isn't it? Thank you. Even when I was at my largest, I didn't really avoid hills. Sometimes if there was two options that were equally difficult or easy, let's say, I might choose the lesser of the two. Bit of single track maybe? We can go through there and do single track. I've been through there before. Just cuts the corner actually. But we came up a single track the other day. I'd never been up before, been down it. I didn't know that it was as rideable going up as it was. It's possible it's been filled in over the years and what have you. It used to be very rooty. Lots of ruts. Not very rideable, but it was okay the other day. Thank you. Oh, yeah. All right. Actually, we could have gone down that one as well, that path just there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had quite a bit of rain overnight here by the look of it. I take it we go round here when it's rained. Everybody else seems to have done. Roots. No, that's not it. Again. looks different now. No, it's at the end of here. There's like a fenced off area with a tree in the middle. I don't remember having to get on or off this path before getting to or from it. There we go. Yeah. No, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Morning. Hi. Cheers. No, thank you. Yeah, this wasn't the one. But it does go to a place where we can get through back onto the trailway. So there you go, that's number 2 fail for today. Yeah, this one comes out by the gate at the road bridge. Feels like my headset's come loose again, so there is definitely something wrong with this. Keep tightening it up. Keeps coming loose. I've put a new stem on. Hello. Morning. Morning. Or has it just come loose because I've adjusted it recently and it is just tweaking up? We'll check it in a minute, won't we? If it's just a little bit loose, then it probably does just need tweaking up where I adjusted it the other day, which is perfectly acceptable. There you go. Yeah, so that's the gate just there, and the road bridge goes over the bypass. And we are still on the trailway. It is that time of day for dog walkers, so we'll have to be a little bit careful with the speed on some of these corners. Good morning. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Gonna be a little bit busy, isn't it? In fact, I think I'll turn off that fern down and go up towards Verwood. Or not. Let's just see how it is. I can hear a car. Oh, all right. Yeah, they've had quite a lot of rain over here, haven't they? The old-fashioned goalposts. Sometimes the old ideas are the best ideas, aren't they? Stop danger of death. Really? Oh, are they resurfacing? Ah yes, they scraped this off the other day, so nothing has changed, to be honest. Oh, the scalpings are going down. Apparently that pile's been there for a while, but I'm sure that's smaller than it was on Sunday. You can see ahead here. Oh, that's new. Look out for bikes crossing. Oh, yeah. Ah, maybe I ought to go around the other way. Let's go around the other way. I don't need to go through there. Let's go this way. It doesn't matter, it ends up in the same place. It's just that way. Is it a little bit cleaner, possibly? Yeah, I'm definitely getting mucky. I can feel it. No need to persevere where they're working though, is there? Just come and get filthy. Good morning. Morning. Oh, dear, oh dear. Yeah, so in our last video, we talked about Julie's operation. I mean, when you look back over our lives, Julie has quite a list of sort of medical issues that have been attended to over the years. And yeah, so we went off to Mallorca. We sort of booked it last minute, not last minute, but only a sort of couple of months before we went, really, 3 months I think. Because Julie was due to have an operation on her foot. It was becoming quite painful. Walking was really becoming difficult. Morning. She couldn't go very far at all actually on foot. And that was seriously interfering with day-to-day life. Of course it does. I mean, walking is a basic requirement, even if it's just walking around the house. And at 58, you've got a good few years left yet. You want to be able to walk, surely, for most of those, comfortably. So yeah, it was necessary. She was lucky to have it done at the Nuffield Hospital in Bournemouth, so no waiting list as such. It's a case of booking it in, getting it done, which was good. But it did mean we had to take our chance while we had it, our opportunity. 2 weeks in Mallorca, rest, take it easy, get ourselves sort of mentally prepared, get rid of all the stresses of life, and a bit of cycling. Did mean, of course, that we didn't do any big days and we kept it quite local. The foot's not too bad actually on the bike, or it wasn't on the bike, you know, it was okay. Just sort of that background aching, gnawing sensation that you can sometimes get with an injury. Tiring, but not painful as such. Walking was difficult, as I said, but she's had the operation now. All looks to be very successful. Everything looks as it should. Morning. And she did have a little stumble the other day, because of course, you know, Julie being Julie, she felt like she was doing really well and didn't need a crutch anymore, and was trying to get round across the room, tripped on a mat, put her foot down, agony. I was out on a ride, so I'm thinking, oh god, I shouldn't have left her at home on her own, you know. One of those situations. But anyway, we got her in, x-rayed, everything's perfect, and in fact it was a really good thing because I just sort of mentally flipped a switch in her brain. It's all good, it's fine, relax. And it did change the way she thought about it. She's hobbling around on sort of one crutch, but it's much, much easier for her now. Yeah, much better. And things have really sort of, yeah, started to heal really quick since that incident. And I think that is sort of a mental thing. They didn't bother putting any of the bandages back on. Just a sort of stick on, you know, stay clean and dry dressing. And she's going in tomorrow, which is like 2.5 weeks since the operation, to have the stitches out. 3 weeks? No, 2.5 weeks. Yeah, and get the stitches out. And well, then it's just a case of wait and see. Carry on taking it easy. Elevate it when it gets too much, you know, and see how it goes. But at the moment since that trip, it's all been very positive. It does mean, of course, that I am out riding on my own. But that's okay, because I've been pretty much doing that all winter anyway. I'm kind of used to that by now. There's group rides at the weekends, of course. The midweek sort of gravel ride seems to have taken a back seat. For one reason or another, people haven't been available. And we've been away, yeah, so it's sort of dropped off. It'll be nice to get some midweek rides going again, group rides. But if not, I'm quite happy to come out on my own. I mean, I'm never really on my own, am I? There must be at least 2 people watching this video. It's a strange thing, but it's a real stress reliever actually. It wouldn't matter to me at all if nobody watched. And let's be honest, our tiny little channel, nobody watches, but not in the grand scheme of things. We're very appreciative of the people that do, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But yeah, no, apparently we're doing the right things. Yeah, this whole talking to yourself thing, apparently it's supposed to be a fantastic stress reliever. I don't know if that's true. I saw it on the internet, so I guess it must be true. Because we all know that everything we see on the internet, always true. Even if the same people contradict themselves the week after. But, yeah, so apparently getting out, physical exercise, talking to yourself, it's all fantastic for stress relief. And to be honest, I could have told you that, and I'm not even a scientist. No, that said, I did get a CSE in biology. So there you go. Oh, actually, I did rather better in physics and chemistry, come to think of it, but that was so many years ago, let's not talk about that. Morning. Yeah, so not nearly as wet here, so Wimborne Ferndown area, they definitely had some rain. This is actually pretty dry. Even the trail, a little bit damp at the edges, that's all. It is now 20 past 8, so there could be rain, drizzle, probably only drizzle to be honest. The clouds look high, so I don't think there's going to be any sort of rolling thunder and storms. It's just sort of overcast but quite high and light, bright, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. That said, I don't know about you, but once I'm out on the bike, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Every pedal stroke is a pedal stroke closer to getting home. Warm shower, hot water. No, you can't say that, can you, these days? That means something completely different. Hot shower, warm wife, hot coffee. Yeah. So yeah, I don't worry too much about the rain. Yeah, I want some out. I think this Castleman Trail is going to become a little bit of a staple for the next month. Got a plan on a gravel adventure coming up with a couple of the guys. We'll see. It might come together, it might not. I think it, you know, I think it will. It's looking positive. Weather could be an issue. I suppose when you get to a certain age, injury and health. As long as none of us get ill or do anything silly and come off our bikes and break anything, it should happen. Not being a naysayer or anything, but it's usually the unexpected, isn't it, that jumps up and somehow interferes. That's, yeah, right, okay, you stay over there then. Yeah, like this bike, yeah, it's getting a bit old now, but this headset problem, it's getting a bit frustrating, to be honest. Really? Dog wasn't even the slightest bit interested. Anyway, people know their dogs better than I do. Morning. Oh, this one's taking no chances. Morning. But anyway, okay. This one's a little bit lackadaisical, isn't he? Good morning. You can usually tell, can't you? I mean, dogs are usually looking at their owner. You know who's in charge, don't you? And if the dog's looking at the owner, usually means the owner's in charge. And they won't do anything. Oh, hello. I've seen her before. Let's give her some space. She's lost some weight, hasn't she? Morning. Thank you. Morning, thank you. Yeah, I saw her out running the other day, actually pushing the pushchair. Yeah. And obviously you can tell by looking at her, she's lost some weight, hasn't she? Done well. I think the thing that worries me about the weight loss is, where does it stop? Where do I get to a point where I'm relaxed enough in my mind that I can just turn what I'm doing now into just normal everyday, this is what I do now. I've already pulled back from the scales and weighing myself. I now weigh myself occasionally. It's never a surprise. I am a little bit naughty between meals every now and then, but I don't mean snacks and chocolate and crisps and things like that. But you know, I'll have the occasional bit of cheese and biscuits and, you know, a quick sandwich or something if I'm feeling peckish, rather than a quick protein shake or something less fatty, let's say. But yeah, nothing destructive, let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm trying to find that balance where I can be calm in my mind about everyday intake, balanced with the amount of effort and sort of exercise and calories I'm burning. The difficult days are the days when I do nothing. And when I say do nothing, so yesterday I did a pretty deep clean of the kitchen first thing in the morning. Nothing too hectic, nothing too in depth actually. I didn't like empty all the cupboards, but you know, wash down the walls, cupboard fronts, worktops, ceiling, because you know, you get a lot of stuff on the ceiling, don't you? Steam and oils and things like that rise up. We do have a vent and an extractor, but it doesn't get absolutely everything. Yeah, sort of tweaked up the drawers and the hinges, things like that, just made sure everything was working. And even though that was quite a lot of work done, some of it quite physical with the scrubbing and the wiping down the walls and things like that, it doesn't really raise the heart rate, so no extra calories burnt. So even though I was feeling not tired but like I'd done something, yeah, I still had to be a little bit cautious with the intake. Now of course, one day is not a disaster. Yeah, going over by several hundred calories in a day is not a disaster, not at all. In fact, it's little more than maintenance really. ChatGPT says there's a lot of muscle work involved with what you've been doing. The body does need to repair that, so the extra calories is going to good use. And just because Garmin can't register the work you've done in the kitchen doesn't mean that you're not using that fuel, that extra fuel, to repair yourself. So yeah, I don't think, it's like everything, isn't it? All these electronic devices, they tell us that they're brilliant, and they are, let's be honest, but they're not absolutely brilliant. And like I've said before, as long as they're consistent, I can work with that. They don't have to be 100% accurate, they just need to be consistent and give me a fair idea of what I've done and what I haven't done in a day, so I know how to fuel it. Now of course a lot of it's second natured by now. I've been doing this since, well, actually I went through the logs the other day. Yeah, dirt up my nose. That wasn't very pleasant. Anyway, yeah, so I went through the logs the other day, and I actually started the weight loss sort of journey, if you like. I believe that's the new term. You're not allowed to say diet anymore. Anyway, yeah, so I actually started the weight loss journey back in June of last year, so it's almost exactly a year. And I did okay for the first few months, and then we went to Rhodes. Lots of olive oil, lots of breads, lots of hummus. Oh God, did I put some weight on. And I thought that was all sort of really healthy stuff. We're told, aren't we, Mediterranean diet, healthy, healthy. No. Healthy it might be, calorific definitely. So yeah, when I got back, I did start to lose more weight for a few weeks after getting back, but that made me quite despondent actually, because I thought I'd done well on holiday. I don't really drink. I didn't really have chocolatey stuff or sweets, you know, so I was really quite disappointed with that. But yeah, about a few weeks after that, that's when I got on the whole ChatGPT thing, and I said, look, this is what I've been doing up till now, this is what I've achieved, this is what's happened, blah 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 blah, what shall I do next? And actually it wasn't much. the answer came back, you're actually doing all the right things here, but you need to tweak it. And that was, so I went from despondent very quickly to, oh, okay, yeah, quite positive then. It's just the little things. And it truly was, just the little changes made quite a difference. Yeah, so for about 3 months I was sort of going my own way, and then for the last 9 months, yeah, I've been working alongside, I'd like to say, ChatGPT, because I'd actually sort of not really changed what I was doing. I mean, what I have done is added in certain foods that I thought I really should avoid, and ChatGPT sort of put them into perspective and said, look, if you use them like this, they're fine. And that's when I started proper food logs. Journal, if you like. I believe that's a new term. Everything has to be journaled. Yeah, you don't keep a diary anymore, or a log, though I do. Yeah, you journal everything. So yeah, I quite enjoy doing that, actually. Not necessarily to look back on, even though I do look back on it from time to time. It's all in the cloud storage. I can go back to it at any time and see progress or see what happened on certain weeks. Yeah, I do a week to week sort of summary. All right, no, you're okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't go sort of thumb my way through it, as it were, continuously or anything like that, but there are recipes and, yeah, certain combinations of things that we've got saved, so I can just say, oh, I've had that, and I don't have to list ingredients and things like that. And to be honest, I list ingredients for my own benefit, my own sanity, if you like, because if things start to creep, I can tell very quickly. So if I have 70 grams of rice before a ride and it starts to go up to 80, 90, I can see where that happened and what difference it made very quickly. Now, I don't really do that too often. It's more likely that actually what I do is I tend to go, oh yeah, it's a bit more than normal, cut it back to what I usually do. So instead of just like tipping out, oh yeah, it's close enough, I have to actually do it properly, as it were. But I've now got to a point where basically ride days, yeah, it's basically a food free-for-all. I could have what I want. Obviously, I'm not going to waste the opportunity to eat 3,000 calories in a day on things like chocolate. No nutritional value whatsoever. And it's a sort of one hit and done, isn't it? And you've wasted all those calories on something that's not doing you any good whatsoever. And I think that's the thing. I now just look at food as fuel, and I still look at it as something to enjoy, but the things I like to enjoy have changed. Do I still have cake on rides? Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, that reminds me, I'm about 2 hours in and I haven't eaten yet. Homemade flapjack. Morning. Ah. Nice one, thank you. Yeah, so this flapjack is a case in point, because it is, well, okay, the size of the tin that I use, I cut it in half and then halves into halves and the halves into halves until it gets down to a manageable size, let's say. And each one of those strips comes in at between 100 and 112 grams was the last one I did. Each one of those strips is between 450 and 470 calories. Estimated, obviously, but I mean all the ingredients are there and the weight's there, so it's not far off. So I just take a strip out, break it into chunks, and I know that I have 450 calories with me on the bike for a ride, depending on the length of the ride, obviously. ChatGPT has that saved. It knows what the ingredients are. If I change the ingredients, then obviously that gets changed in the storage where it's saved and it gets recalculated. But in truth, minor changes to the recipe do not really make much change to the calorific value, so it all works quite well, really. Which way shall I go? Let's go and do some single track, shall we? Yeah, it just keeps it simple for me. And just grab a strip. I know effectively how much it weighs. I don't have to weigh it. Stick it in my pocket. You know, break it up, stick it in the bag, put it in my pocket. And there it is, I've got it. All the macros are listed. So at the end of the ride, I know how much carbohydrate I've had, I know how much protein, always protein involved. I'm 58 for Christ's sake. All you younger cyclists that say that it's all about carbs, 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 carbs. Yeah, you carry on, mate. Yeah, when you get older and start wasting away, it'll be all about the protein for you as well. So there's always an amount of protein involved. And there's always a big protein and carb hit afterwards, just to kick the body into recovery mode and to protect muscle mass. And it's sort of become like a scientific process, which I didn't expect it to. I'm not that kind of person. Yes, I did all right in the ologies at school, but yeah, I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination. But it's a process, isn't it? I just do this, this, this and this. I don't mess about with it. I don't, get the Bunsen burners out and the test tubes and or anything like that. Calculate, you know, how this will affect me VO2 and all that rubbish. I just make flapjack to a recipe, cut it to a certain size, stick it in my pocket. You know, that's it. That's how it works. Yeah, that gear will do. I haven't drunk anything either, have I? I tell you what, I'm rubbish at this. I'm quite good at riding bikes, but I'm actually rubbish at cycling. Oh well. Never did check the headset yet, did I? Haven't had to stop. Next time I stop, I'll check it. I can hear something. No, just the trees. Right, 8:45. We're doing all right, aren't we? Yeah, I'm much happier to leave Julie in the mornings now. Yeah, she's still hobbling, but I think since she had the sort of shock of her little trip, not only has it given her the boost of confidence with the x-ray and that, but also a bit more aware that she needs to not be twisting and, you know, taking it easy. Do things methodically. Actually think about it. So yeah, I am much happier to leave her in the mornings just to get on with it. She quite likes you know, the blackout curtains in the morning, so she's probably still in bed now. Probably get up about 10 o'clock, by which time I'll be well on my way back, I should think. It sort of works out quite well, actually. A little bit of cabin fever during the day and the evening. But that's okay. I mean, it's not permanent, is it? I've got things to do around the house, in the garden, so yeah, it's not too bad. Right, let's go and get mucky. Actually, it might not be too bad up here. Oh, it's a bit slippy. Bum, 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 bum. Whee! I can't remember which way to go. I think it's this one because that one's a bit deep. Pedal strike and all that. Ooh. Yeah, let's go up through here. There we go. It's all been cleared. It's nice. I'm not really expecting to see anybody, but you never know, do you? I don't know. There we go. Yep. They're doing okay. Did I tell you how good this mechanical 12 speed is? Oh yeah. It's quite funny when I get back on the road bike actually. That's Ultegra Di2 and I actually try and push the lever across. Oh, what an idiot. And then I remember. Anyway. I think that's more to do with being a senior moment than anything else. I think we all have senior moments all throughout our lives. It's just that when you get to a certain age, you then qualify to call them senior moments. And they become acceptable. Well, gradually acceptable. Good morning. We're doing all right. Average of 14.8 at the moment. It's quite a lot of road so far, so nothing special about that really. Certainly not much climbing. A couple of hills hidden in there. One or two, weren't there? So we're going out into the mucky stuff now. Yeah, I was just saying before the battery ran out, 14.8 average, but quite a lot of road in that, so nothing too extravagant or exciting really. Not too many hills either, nothing to slow us down as such. But from here, not so many hills I suppose, but it will definitely be single track, a bit twistier. Ruts, water maybe, we'll see, we'll see. So it might come down a little bit. When we get over the other side a bit further, we'll have the nice flat trails again. Rideable, rather than flat. They're not actually flat over there, but certainly more rideable. Right, there's a big drain cover just there. You can't see it until you get right on top of it, because you've got the bright lights as you go between the culverts, and it goes very dark. Let's go. Right, onto the mountain bike trail. We have to be a little bit careful here, because there are some rutted bits where the ruts are very deep. And once you're in them, you can't get out. And it's very difficult to pedal, so yeah, you have to take it easy, look ahead, choose the line in advance. That'll also be full up with water, of course, probably. That's the A31 on the right, which then turns into the M27 at Cadnam, and then you fork off to the M3 to go up to London. It's about 2 hours from here. The M3, I'm pretty sure, is just a storage area for cones. I don't think in my life there's ever been a time that there haven't been cones on the M3. And of course, like most roadworks or motorways, never really see much going on. You just see lots of cones. I think the M3 is the absolute apex of that situation. Okay. Where the ruts start to get a bit deeper. Start being a little bit more aware that you might need an escape route. There we go. Let's get up there. So far so good, but I'm not going through those. Let's do this. As you can see, this would be an absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? Yeah, you don't want to get caught in those. Believe me, I have it from a very good source, so it's not much fun. It just happens to be my wife. And if she says that, then you just say, okay, and move on. Yeah, Julie's had a few moments, a few squealers, let's say, in those ruts. The silly thing is, she knows they're coming, but like I say, unless you're sort of prepared and paying attention, you can very quickly find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. Okay, if you oh, hello, like that, you see. Not looking ahead. Yeah, so of course if you've got Matthew Vanderpool's skills, you can just bunny hop sideways and get out of it, but the occasional bunny hop Julie does do, but not out of a 10-inch rut and sideways. Right, that's the worst of it out of the way, I'll be honest. Yeah, I could have done with another gear there, couldn't I? I was almost tempted actually to go under the culvert there. I quite like that route through there, but it cuts quite a lot off. So let's keep going this way for a minute. Whoa. Now, I could have turned left there and basically gone back the way we came, all the way back to Poole. But yeah, let's not do that. I do want to go into Poole actually. Yeah. There's a giant store at Poole. And yeah, there's a few bits and pieces I'd like. Oh, here comes the rain. Maybe I should have turned. Rubber grommets, things like that. Little bits and pieces. Derailleur hanger. You know, the sorts of bits that they would have and others are unlikely to have. I mean, for nearly everything I buy now, because it's not like big bike parts, like tyres, consumables, I tend to try and use Primera Sports, which is my local bike shop. Bearings, tyres, sealant, you know, that sort of thing. Can I get it cheaper online? Probably. But, you know, these are not high value items, so it's only going to be a couple of quid here and there, isn't it? So, and it means I can go down and look at all the bikes. So, yeah, it works for me. I mean, I've done that before and bought one from them, so it goes both ways, if you know what I mean. And maybe I ought to go and see about this headset. I think actually it's just a standard FSA one, but rebadged as Giant Overdrive or whatever they call it. Oh, come on. There you go. Yeah. And of course, if it is got the header stretched, 12 seats, might be able to get that on warranty. I don't know. I know on the two frames I have had on warranty, it's because they cracked. I broke them. I wonder if... Woo-wee! Oh yeah, instant tow. The wind is just starting to hit me again now. Haha. Always a plus side. Anyway, yeah, they might suggest that's poor maintenance and therefore it's not covered. And I'd be okay with that. Nearly there. Into the wind. Good morning. Whew. This is a good morning. Some drizzle at Ringwood there. That's Ringwood. Say no more. But it didn't last. Just a few specks. And it stopped instantly. And still dry. That's okay. Wow. If he's parked there, does that mean I can't go down the trail? Yeah, looks like it's shut. Wow. This one's been shut for a long time. Or is he just loading? No, it just says keep off. This says danger work. Keep off 15 miles an hour. Doesn't say it's shut. So, yeah. Probably all the cutting and lifting and everything's done. It's just lorries coming to pick it all up now. We'll see. There's a couple of places where we can turn off at the bottom here. So let's see which way the lorry goes, and we'll go the other way. Where's he going to go? Straight on? If he goes straight on, we'll go right. He's going straight on. So we are good. Let's do this. There was a deer in the middle. Ah. Was for the lorry going around the loop. Morning. Yes. To get back to here. To save him turning round. It's possible. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, right, that's okay. Yeah, so a few more of those naturally occurring intervals I was talking about earlier. Yeah, short, sharp sort of rises. Hey. No vehicular access over the bridge apparently. I'm sure that means lorries and, you know, pickups and things like that. As we've just proved, the bridge is there. That would have been scary, wouldn't it? Anyway. Yeah, patrol vehicles, things like that. I guess on the road, a bike is considered a vehicle, is it? I don't think it is actually, is it? Because when it says no vehicular access, it doesn't always say except bikes, does it? So I don't know on that one. Obviously I'm not talking about the forest here, I'm just talking that's something I'm not sure about. Oh, perfect. Ba-doop, ba-doop. So, what's next? I was thinking about going into the woods for a coffee, but actually I'm feeling pretty fresh. I think I'll just keep going. Obviously going to extend the barrier there either side of the bridge. Okay, so getting gear, thank you. I have told you about this, yeah, I won't say it again. Yeah, a little bit of tarmac. Fidlock shit. But I've spent the money, so I'm committed. That said, never lost a bottle. It is really, really good. Just awkward to put the bottle back on. I don't care what anybody says. No matter how often you do it, it is not natural. Slossing a bottle into a cage, yeah. That's not so bad. That is natural. Oh, look, they've done all the ditches. Nearly to the top. You get to here and you think, oh yes. And then you get around the corner and dismay. Not quite there. And again, you think that's a summit. It's not. That said, it's almost flat here. And there you go. Finally. What have we got? Yeah. Giant revolt. There we go, all the way to the top. Bloody hell. Car back, but I ain't going in the rough stuff. I see headlights. Yeah, good. They're way off. I think I'll take my place. Good squeeze down there, then squeeze between the van and the lorry, so it's downhill start. Okay, I'm not going to stop at the woods because I'm feeling pretty good. So all their bikes out, hire bikes, what have you. Here we go, here is the drizzle. Half-past 9. We're returning for home, like I said, by 10 o'clock. Be well on our way back. And it's not cold, so I'm not going to put my rain jacket on. All I do is sweat on the inside and get wet anyway, so this is fine. This is absolutely fine. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. This is fine. Of course, we will be into the wind almost the whole way home. But again, fact of life, I can't change it, so I'm okay with that. Sure, you got a bit impatient at the end there, didn't you? You did so well. Yeah, Isle of Wight. Yeah, normally we'd have done the Isle of Wight randonnée by now. Well, we wouldn't have done, because we were in Alcudia, but yeah, it used to be the Sunday on the first May bank holiday of the year, but it's been taken over by new people and it's been moved to September. I mean, we'll probably still do it, you know, don't get me wrong, it's not a complaint. However, pros and cons, I don't know. There's always something about tradition, isn't there? When something's traditionally been done in a certain way or on a certain date, it feels a bit odd when things get changed. But again, that's okay, not a complaint. It does mean not being in the May bank holiday and being in school term time, albeit at the weekend obviously, maybe there'll be less traffic on the road. All the holiday makers would have gone home, ferry won't be quite as busy. I don't know. We have noticed over the last years, 5 years or so, that it's got busier and busier and busier on the roads. I mean, there's always thousands of cyclists, you know, that's the way it is. Very popular event, people come from far and wide, as the term goes. But there's certainly been a lot more traffic as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, actually. It could be the best thing ever. I guess what might put some people off is that you don't have a bank holiday Monday to get over it. Because the last bank holiday of the summer is August. Beginning of August in Scotland, end of August in England and Wales, I believe. Well, I know it's end of August in England for sure. But yeah, that might put a few people off, having to go to work the next day, travelling and what have you. We'll see. But certainly it'll be interesting to see how the traffic is, because that could make it so much better. There's never a guarantee on the weather. Even in May, we've had wet, hot, windy, all sorts for the randonnée, so I don't think the weather will be any worse in September than it is in May. In fact, in many ways it could be better. There's quite often a little sort of residual Indian summer type patch just after the kids go back to school, so it might actually be brilliant. We'll see. It would be really, really good if Julie was back to some sort of fitness for that. even if we get the train or somebody gives her a lift to the ferry, so she doesn't have to do the full 100 miles. Yeah, that would be some target to aim for, wouldn't it? I mean, she should be well and truly recovered from her foot point of view by then. I don't think that'll be an issue. It's regaining the fitness. And that, of course, comes down to brain power, willingness to want to do it. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So. Perfect. I haven't lost my touch. That said, I'm not sure I ever had it. Okay. Dog, no owner. I saw people walking ahead, but they're a long way ahead. Oh, where have they gone? Maybe they were just off to the side. Right. Let's go this way. We'll add a little bit on, shall we? Yep, all good. There we go. Well, this is the first time back in, well, this part of the forest for a while. We've got fellow riders in the group that live out this way, so when the weather was really bad, of course, New Forest, brilliant all year round. It made sense to catch up with them by doing the woods ride on a Sunday morning. So we're out here quite a lot, you know, every weekend almost. And that very much became about being sociable, catching up with people, chatting, and much less about the riding. So it's fresh again, if you know what I mean. It's nice to be back out on these trails. Woo-wee. I mean, there's some gates, don't get me wrong. Or, as ChatGPT would call them, micro rests. So that gave me a whole new perspective on gates. Yes, annoying because they break up the flow, but micro rests, I quite like that. Good morning. Woo-wee, that is windy. Flippin' heck. Wow, naturally occurring intervals or not, this could turn into an hour and a half interval all the way home. Wow. I'm making the mistake of thinking about the route ahead. Yeah. Nasty. Here we go. Yeah, even in the trees here. This is hard going. Yeah, I don't have the noise cancelling turned on in the camera because it's a DJI microphone and camera. There are certain things, certain features available that work between the two. One of them is sort of wind cancelling, and yeah, I turn that off. I quite like ambient sound. I quite like having a feel for how things actually are, the atmosphere, where of course you turn noise reduction and noise cancelling on. Generally what it's looking for is voice, and it tries to cut everything else out. And I always think that's a bit of a shame, really. Yeah, if you've got a big bass unit that you're listening to this on, you probably get quite a lot of rumble from the wind noise and that in the background, tyre rumble, that sort of thing, maybe. But in truth, I do try and take care of some of that in post, because I do understand how annoying that can be. However, I try and leave as much as possible because I like to give an impression of what's actually going on. So right now you can probably hear a bit of rumble from the wind compared to earlier on in the ride when we had wind behind. So coming around this corner, you can probably hear that. I mean, I have got the wind muff on the mic. It's, you know, I do take sort of physical precautions, if you like. But I don't like to, process the sound too much. I like it to give an impression of what's going on. So when we're going fast downhill, you can hear the wind rushing past. Yeah, when I'm riding into a headwind, you can hear it. Frisky. Yeah, a little foal there. Running and jumping around. So I think that's another reason why, I mean, come on, in this day and age, music isn't an issue. It's cheap. You can find it anywhere, pretty much. But again, it's just masking the atmosphere. And then some people like music, some people don't. And then some people like the music or the type of music you use. Some people don't. Morning. I don't know. I just like cycling au naturel, as it were. I don't use headphones. I have got some open-ear headphones that I use when I go shopping, maybe on the shopping bike. I'm loath to call it a cargo bike, actually. It nearly is, to be honest. But in all truth and honesty, I just prefer this. Yeah, chatting to people when they're around, but when they're not, talking to myself, talking to you. Yeah. This is what works for me when it comes to cycling, and I see no reason to change it. Right, what have we got? No, we're good. Right, Brockenhurst. Yeah, skip the town centre. Just keep moving. And a little bit of ache in my left shoulder. Now that's unusual. I mean, we did 60 odd miles the weekend, some of it off-road, most of it off-road I guess, 50-50, don't know. Anyway, enough of it off-road and quite bumpy in places, and I didn't suffer with that then. So when I get home, I'll just check and see if one of the levers has slipped or something. But it could just be where I'm tense. I do tend to get tense if I don't pay attention. The other thing is, of course, when you're on a group ride, you do stop, chat. Today we haven't really done any of that, have we? Yeah, I've had my little micro rest at the gates. Anyway, it's just a background dull ache. It's not pain, it's not hurting, I'm just aware of it. Well, strangely, the average speed's gone up. So we were at 14.8, we're now at 15.5, is it? I think. Hard to tell, I got rain on my lenses. And I got old man eyes. So the head unit, with that font size, is not far enough away. No, I can't tell. 15.3 maybe. It's bumping around too much. Right. There we go, perfect timing. Back on the gravel then a minute. I have got cars behind me, but I'm turning right here. Right, they turned left. He waited, thank you. And no, last one went the other way as well. So just that white van behind me, but we're getting off here. Straight into the block headwind. Yeah, look, he's not even pedalling. Morning. Ooh-wee. actually, that shoulder thing, yeah. I think it's my bib short strap. It's quite tight. I hadn't noticed up until that moment. Yeah, I think it is. I'm going to have to be aware of that. Yeah. Okay, I'm happier about that now because I have a reason for it. These are relatively new. It could be the added pull on the camera as well. I've got two straps effectively, haven't I? Never noticed it before. But it's possible that, okay, wait for it, you're not going to believe this. It's possible that my thighs are pulling my bib shorts down. I know. It doesn't matter what size bib shorts you buy. It seems to me that the elastic or the gel bit around the bottom of the shorts is always the same size. It's no bigger. And yeah, I do find that I have to make a concerted effort to pull them up over a certain point. I wonder if that's what it is. Yes. Maybe the size of my thighs is pushing my bib shorts down. It's something I've noticed about cycle clothing. Yeah. So obviously I've always been in the sort of triple XL, double XL range, and they don't necessarily make sizes for bigger people, they make sizes for taller people. So triple XL can be long but very tight. They just assume that if you're a cyclist, you're skinny as a rake but you're taller, so you need bigger size. No, I think your endurer, people like that, they're onto this, aren't they? They know. So they tended to fit. I've never had anything Rafa, Castelli or any of those sort of brands, because I've always assumed they are made for skinny people only. And that's fair enough, that's their market. Not complaining, I'm just saying that's why I haven't ever had any of those makes. The psychology stuff only went up to double XL, but it did stretch enough and it wasn't unpleasant. This is a double XL road top I'm wearing, psychology, and it was tight, for sure. It's not now. It's still, you know, snug, let's say. Loose in places. Now, I don't know if that's because they cut. I noticed that Psychology have gone big time, haven't they now? So their prices are no longer reasonable. They no longer cater to the people who want to be a little bit different. Their prices are pretty much the same as everybody else's now, and their adverts are all skinny fit people. Not really alt cycling anymore. That said, I do like their stuff. I'm not bitching about that. I have had to recycle the gravel shirts because since losing weight they absolutely do not fit anymore. Yeah, basically wearing a smock, so they've been recycled, but yeah, I'm loath to buy more. I may, you know, birthdays, Christmas, special occasions. When this one wears out, I like it, I might replace it, but I'm not going to go out just to add to the wardrobe, as it were. I did buy a road top, a road jersey in Alcudia. British lady out there has a shop. We always have a bit of a chit chat. She's always honest. She always says, no, that's not you. If it isn't, that's fine. I like that. I find that encouraging, you know. But of course that was in euros. The exchange rate is favourable for Brits, so I was quite happy with that. And I do have a gilet which I bought on AliExpress that works nicely. I like it, it's okay. It's a bit flappy, again, size. But no, it works. It works fine. And I do have a shirt or a jersey I've had for a while actually, but it never fitted before, and it does now. So I'm covered. I'm covered for riding outfits. I can't see anything because of my glasses, covered in rain. But I'm not going to take them off for the minute. Right, Wooden Bridge. Yeah, so I have got some stuff that I bought as double XL that turned out to be for skinny people. Tops especially are okay because I've got a long torso, short legs. So yeah, things that were too small for me but long actually work quite well now. Yeah, I was a bit aggressive, I know, but there was always an escape route. And maybe I should have protected myself a bit better. Oh, I've turned this into a double gate. Ah. That means they must Look at wildlife, like livestock roaming free in here, I guess. I think there always was, but the double gate makes it a bit more definite, doesn't it? Right, that's a bit better. A little less rain now. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm okay for stuff because the jerseys and that I did buy, they're in larger sizes that were too small but longer, actually fit quite well now because I've got long torso, short legs. So the fact I'm thinner and I fit into the jerseys doesn't mean that they're too long. I have one, it's a smaller size, it's still a tiny bit short, but it's okay, I don't mind it. So I may revisit the psychology gear, may do, but certainly not to add to the clothing rail, as it were. But yeah, when I come to replace. Hello, long lead. Passing on your left, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, there's no chance of keeping this lens clean, is there? I'm riding into the rain. Okay, here we go. This is a long old drag up here, I don't care what anybody says. You think this bit's flat, okay? Wahoo thinks this bit's flat. I'm telling you, this bit is not flat. On my first ever 100 miler, I came back through here at about 80 miles in. Now remember, this was my first ever 100 miler. Oh my God, this was so hard. Draggy, uphill, gets steeper at the end. Oh, yeah, it was tough. Really, really hard. Yeah, I thought, you know, yeah, a bit of off-road, away from the traffic, in the trees, it'd be lovely, nice way to finish the day. Oh yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, just no on that, okay? If you're looking to do your first 100 miler, think very carefully about your route. If it's the summer, it was for me, so it wasn't a problem. It didn't get dark until gone 9 o'clock. So I was able to, yeah, spend all day. Not an issue. Yeah, so give yourself lots of time. And yeah, maybe work it out so the easier bits are at the end. Now, for those of us who have done 100-mile rides, it doesn't matter. But on your first one, yeah, get the easy bits towards the end. Even if the very last bit is hard, as long as it's easy coming up to the end, it's good. Because it's a, oh, flipping out wind. It's a mental barrier as much as anything else, the 100-miler. So once you've done it, you just go file, save as, 100 miles, done. And it's always there. You know you've done it. Your body knows you've done it. Probably for a few days after on your first one. So you know it's possible. And once you know it's possible, you can go do it again. And then how hard it is starts to sort of ebb away into the background. Because it's, I've done this before, you accumulate the miles, and at the end you look and go, oh, that was a bit more climbing than last time. Or it's a bit faster than last time. But up until that point, it's just a 100 miler, the type of thing you've done before. Doing that. Well, I told you about the headwind. Yeah. It's beginning to be a bit annoying. But that's okay. Again, I don't worry about it too much. It's just part of the ride, isn't it? Yeah, the average speed's going to go down. Yeah, the legs are going to complain a bit. It's okay. Cows. Look at them. See if we can see the cows. Yeah, big ones. Size of them. You can always tell because of the size of their heads, their faces. Huge, triangular, fat. Yeah, they are big cows. Very muscular cheeks. Yeah, I used to work for a guy who had some cows. So I sort of got involved with them, feeding them, building fences, pushing them around when they needed moving, things like that. And he used to get this Chevrolet, is it? Bull in every now and then. Oh my God, I swear that thing was wider than it was long. Absolutely massive. Yeah. I mean, you know, thick as two short planks, so pretty docile, pretty easy to control, but oh. Okay, here we go. It's always a bit dodgy through here. There are signs, look out for cyclists. Of course you might get a car come round here, but yeah, a bit dodgy. Yeah, this Chevrolet, I'm sure that's what it was. It is a Chevrolet, isn't it? People who know about cows will tell me otherwise, but yeah, it was definitely wider than it was long. And it, you know, its knees were out, you know, really wide as it sort of walked around. I mean, fine specimen of a beast, it has to be said, very muscular, no fat as such, just rippling. But yeah. Very, very big cheeks and face. Yeah, it was something else. to be said. Right, so I'm going to turn off left here. It could be a bit dirty and yucky. And it is very gravelly and a bit uphill gravelly, but that's okay. You know, this is not an exercise in let's do it the easy way. This is very definitely let's get some work done. Not too hard, but let's get some work done. Right, what have we got here? There it is. Yep. Right, what have we got? We're on 54 miles. We might make it to 60. We will make it to 60, yes. Especially if I go back along the beach. We will definitely make it to 60. Well then, I'll tell you what. If you're on a camping holiday, and they probably are because there's a big campsite up here, this has got to be very depressing, hasn't it? Has this been? Oh, it has. This has been improved. Used to be quite rutty through here. A lot of improvements actually been done in the forest for the last year. Which is good to see. I don't know if it's part of a schedule or if it's investment to get more visitors. But either way, it's to our benefit. Right, it could be boggy through here. We'll see. Definitely going to be windy. Wow. Yeah, she may be old, she may be heavy, but you can still throw her over a gate.